You guys know me, I love a good workout, but even I gotta say, Hercules, now that dude knew how to push it to the limit. Legend says this demigod, son of Zeus, was challenged to complete 12 impossible tasks. We're talking next level stuff here, way tougher than any cheat day. These weren't just any random chores though, they were given to him by King Eurystheus as penance for a past mistake. See, Hercules was cursed by Hero, causing him to temporarily lose his mind and commit a terrible act. To atone, he had to embrace the grind, face his demons and conquer these legendary labors. We're talking battling mythical beasts, outsmarting gods and monsters, and showing the world what it truly means to be strong. Trust me, these stories are packed with more action than a Fast and Furious marathon. So, buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the epic journey of Hercules and his 12 legendary labors. First up, Hercules had to face the Nemean Lion, a beast so fierce, so powerful, its roar could shake the mountains. This wasn't just any lion, this beast's hide was impenetrable. Swords bounced off it, arrows couldn't pierce it. It was basically a walking tank with claws. Now, most folks would run for the hills, but not Hercules. He charged headfirst into the lion's den, ready to rumble. The battle was legendary, a clash of titans. They say the ground trembled with each blow, but Hercules, using his cunning and raw strength, found a way. He grabbed the lion with his bare hands, those signature Hercules hands, and squeezed. He held on tight, the lion's strength pushing him to the limit, but Hercules wouldn't let go. He squeezed and squeezed until the mighty beast finally breathed its last. Talk about a grip! To prove he'd conquered the beast, Hercules skinned the lion, using its impenetrable hide as a cloak. It became a symbol of his power, a warning to any creature foolish enough to challenge him. The Nemean Lion was just the beginning, but it showed the world that Hercules was no ordinary hero. He was a force of nature. Fresh off his victory against the Nemean Lion, Hercules thought he was ready for anything. But the gods, they work in mysterious ways. They threw him a curveball, a real nightmare scenario, the Lernaean Hydra. This wasn't your average multi-headed monster movie situation. This serpent had a nasty habit. You cut off one head, two more grow back in its place. Talk about a real pain in the... well, you get the idea. Hercules, ever the optimist, charged in, sword swinging. He lopped off heads left and right, but the Hydra just kept coming back, stronger each time. It was exhausting just watching him work. He needed a new strategy, a way to fight smarter, not harder, and that's when it hit him. He called on his nephew Iolaus for backup. As Hercules severed each head, Iolaus would cauterize the wound with a burning torch, preventing regrowth. It was a team effort, a tag team takedown for the ages. They fought tooth and nail, fire and steel blazing until the last head fell. The Hydra was no more, and Hercules had proven that even the most impossible odds could be overcome with a little ingenuity and a whole lot of fire. Now, after 2 grueling labors, you'd think Hercules would catch a break, right? Wrong. The gods, they have a funny way of showing their appreciation. This time, they sent him after the Cerberus hind, a magnificent creature with hooves of bronze and antlers of gold. This wasn't just any deer, it was sacred to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. The challenge: capture it, alive. No harming a single golden hair on its sacred hide. Talk about pressure. Hercules couldn't just overpower this creature, he had to outsmart it, be faster, more cunning. So he embarked on a chase across mountains and valleys, through forests and streams. He pursued the hind for a full year. Can you imagine? This was a marathon, not a sprint, a true test of endurance, but Hercules wouldn't be deterred. He pushed himself, his strength never wavering, his spirit unbroken. Finally, as the exhausted hind paused for a moment's rest, Hercules saw his opportunity. He carefully ensnared the creature, not with brute force, but with respect and reverence for its sacred nature. He returned to King Eurystheus, not with a trophy, but with a symbol of his unwavering dedication and respect for the will of the gods. Even when faced with seemingly impossible tasks, Hercules found a way to persevere, proving that true strength lies not just in muscle, but also in resilience and wisdom. Chapter 4: The Erymanthian Boar. The king, seeing Hercules return time and time again, threw his hands up in the air. This guy was on a roll, so he decided to get serious, to send Hercules after something truly terrifying: the Erymanthian boar. This wasn't your average wild pig. This was a mountain of muscle and fury, with tusks as long as swords and a temper to match. It terrorized villages, uprooted trees, and left a trail of destruction in its wake. It was a one-pig wrecking crew. Hercules, fearless as ever, tracked the beast to its lair high in the snowy peaks of Mount Erymanthus. The air was thin, the cold biting, but Hercules, fueled by his unwavering determination, wouldn't be deterred. He found the boar, snorting and pawing the ground, ready to charge. The battle was intense, a whirlwind of snow, tusks, and fury. The boar charged, a force of nature unleashed, but Hercules stood his ground. He used his strength and agility, dodging the deadly tusks, tiring the beast out. He knew he couldn't just overpower it, he had to outsmart it. With a final burst of strength, Hercules drove the boar into a deep snowdrift, trapping the beast. Exhausted but victorious, he bound the boar and dragged it back to the king, proving that even the most fearsome creatures were no match for his unwavering will and strategic mind. Chapter 5, the Augean Stables. Now, after battling monstrous beasts, you'd think the king would give Hercules a break, right? Maybe a nice relaxing massage? Nope. Instead, he got stuck with the worst kind of chore cleaning duty. But these weren't your average dirty dishes. We're talking about the Augean Stables, home to thousands of cattle and years of accumulated, well, let's just call it cow byproduct. The stench alone could knock you out. It was a task so disgustingly impossible it had become legendary. Most heroes would balk at such a task, but not Hercules. He looked at the mountain of manure, smelled the eye-watering aroma, and saw an opportunity. This wasn't a battle of strength, it was a challenge of ingenuity, a chance to think outside the stable, so to speak. He surveyed the land, his mind racing, and formulated a plan. He diverted two mighty rivers, the Alpheus and the Peneus, channeling their waters through the stables. The rivers roared, a torrent of cleansing power, washing away years of filth and grime in a single day. The king was dumbfounded. Hercules had taken a task considered impossible and, with a little brain power and a lot of water, made it look easy. It was a testament to his resourcefulness, a reminder that sometimes the greatest strength lies in finding a smarter solution, not a stronger fist. Chapter 6, the Stymphalian Birds. Just when Hercules thought he'd seen it all. Lions, hydras, mountains of manure, the god said, "Hold my ambrosia." They unleashed a plague of terror from the sky. The Stymphalian birds, these weren't your average pigeons. These winged fiends had beaks sharper than swords, claws that could tear through armor, and a nasty habit of raining down razor-sharp feathers like deadly darts. They were a feathery, flying nightmare. Armed with his trusty bow and arrows, Hercules faced the skyward swarm, but these birds were fast, agile, and relentless. Their feathers darkened the sun as they swooped and attacked, forcing Hercules to take cover. He needed a new plan, a way to even the odds. Thinking quickly, he remembered a gift from the gods, a pair of crotala, bronze clappers forged by Hephaestus himself. These weren't just any noisemakers, they unleashed an ear-splitting sound that could shake the heavens. He climbed atop a nearby mountain, raised the crotala high, and let loose a deafening clang that echoed through the valleys. The birds, startled and disoriented, took flight in a panicked frenzy. With the sky clear, Hercules took aim, his arrows finding their marks with deadly accuracy. The air rained feathers as the Stymphalian birds fell, their reign of terror finally over. Hercules, with a little help from his godly tools and quick thinking, had once again saved the day. Chapter 7. The Cretan Bull. The king, running out of ideas and patience, pointed Hercules towards the island of Crete. "Bring me the Cretan Bull," he demanded, hoping this task would finally stop the unstoppable hero. But this wasn't just any bull. This was Poseidon's bull, a magnificent beast with a temper as fierce as the sea god himself. It breathed fire, its hooves could crack the earth, and it had a nasty habit of tossing anything that annoyed it, including heroes, a few hundred feet into the air. Hercules, ever up for a challenge, sailed to Crete ready to face the bull head-on. He found the beast rampaging across the island, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It lowered its head, smoke billowing from its nostrils, and charged. Hercules, relying on his strength and agility, dodged the bull's fiery breath and charging horns. He wrestled the beast, its massive muscles straining against his own. They grappled, a whirlwind of horns, hooves, and flying sand, until finally Hercules, with a mighty roar, wrestled the bull to the ground. Exhausted but victorious, he bound the creature and sailed back across the Aegean Sea. The king, witnessing the subdued beast, could only shake his head in disbelief. Hercules had tamed the untamable, proving that even the wrath of the gods couldn't stand against his unwavering determination. Chapter 8. The Mares of Diomedes. Word of Hercules' exploits had spread far and wide, reaching the ears of King Diomedes of Thrace. This king, a rather unsavory character, possessed a herd of mares so wild, so ferocious, they made the Erymanthian boar look like a cuddly house pet. These weren't your average horses, these were man-eaters, their eyes burning with an unnatural hunger, their teeth stained red with the blood of their victims. The king, in his infinite wisdom, decided to test Hercules' mettle by sending him to capture these beasts. Hercules, never one to back down from a challenge, gathered his companions and set sail for Thrace. He arrived to find the mares, their coats matted with blood, their eyes burning with a terrifying hunger. They pawed the ground, eager to add fresh meat to their menu. He knew he couldn't simply overpower these creatures. Their hunger made them unpredictable, dangerous. He needed a plan, a way to distract them, to use their savagery against them. And then it hit him. With a heavy heart, he offered the mares their own master, King Diomedes. The beasts, driven by their insatiable hunger, descended upon the king, tearing him apart. With their hunger momentarily satiated, Hercules, his heart heavy with the weight of his actions, bound the mares and led them back to his ship. Chapter 9. The Girdle of Hippolyta. King Eurystheus, running out of impossible creatures and impossible tasks, decided to play dirty. He sent Hercules on a mission that required more than just strength. It needed cunning, diplomacy, and maybe even a little charm. The task? Retrieve the girdle of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. These weren't your average warriors. These women were fierce, independent, and utterly devoted to their queen. Their strength and skill in battle were legendary, and the girdle, a symbol of their power, was a treasure jealously guarded. Now Hercules could have barged in, muscles flexing, and started a fight. But even he knew that brute force wouldn't work against the Amazons, so he chose a different approach, one that played to his strengths. He appealed to their sense of honor. He approached their city, not as a conqueror, but as a supplicant, requesting an audience with their queen. Hippolyta, intrigued by the tales of his strength and courage, agreed to hear him out. Hercules, with his disarming charm and genuine respect, explained his quest, acknowledging the queen's power and the significance of the girdle. Hippolyta, impressed by his humility and respect, agreed to lend him the girdle, a testament to the power of diplomacy and understanding. But Hera, Zeus's jealous wife, intervened, stirring up trouble and inciting a battle. Hercules, forced to defend himself, fought his way free, girdle in hand, his faith in diplomacy shaken, but his reputation as a hero intact. Chapter 10. The Cattle of Geryon. 10 labors down, 2 to go. But the gods, they weren't done testing Hercules just yet. This time they sent him to the ends of the earth to face a foe unlike any he'd encountered before. Geryon, a giant with 3 heads, 6 arms, and a bad attitude. This wasn't just any cattle raid. This was a showdown with a monster. Geryon was massive, his strength legendary, and he guarded his cattle with a ferocity that made the Nemean Lion look like a house cat. To reach Geryon, Hercules had to cross the ocean, a journey fraught with peril. But luckily, the gods, in a rare moment of helpfulness, gifted him a golden cup to aid in his travels. This wasn't just any cup, it belonged to Helios, the sun god, and it could transport its user across vast distances. With the help of the sun god's cup, Hercules reached the island where Geryon dwelt. He found the giant tending to his cattle, his 3 heads scanning the horizon, his 6 arms ready for battle. A fierce battle ensued, a clash of titans that shook the very island beneath their feet. Hercules, using his cunning and strength, fought with the fury of a cornered lion. He dodged Geryon's multiple blows, his own strikes finding their marks with deadly accuracy. Finally, with a mighty roar, he struck down the giant, his victory echoing across the land. He herded the cattle into the golden cup and returned home, proving that even at the edge of the world, his strength and determination were unmatched. Chapter 11. The golden apples of the Hesperides, the penultimate labor. You'd think after 10 impossible tasks, the gods would go easy on Hercules, right? Wrong. They saved one of the most challenging for last. Retrieve the golden apples of the Hesperides. These weren't your average apples. These were gifts from Gaia herself, glowing with divine light, granting immortality to those who tasted their flesh. They were guarded by the Hesperides, nymphs known for their enchanting voices, and more importantly by Ladon, a 100-headed dragon whose eyes never slept and whose breath could melt mountains. Now Hercules, strong as he was, couldn't be everywhere at once. He couldn't fight a 100-headed dragon and steal apples at the same time. He needed help. A partner in crime, someone who could handle a little multitasking. He sought out Atlas, the titan who held the weight of the world on his shoulders. Hercules, with his usual charm and persuasive skills, struck a deal. Atlas would retrieve the apples, and in exchange Hercules would shoulder the burden of the world for a while. Atlas, eager for a break, agreed. He retrieved the golden apples, their light illuminating the heavens. But Atlas, reluctant to resume his burden, tried to back out of the deal. However, Hercules, with his usual cunning, tricked Atlas into taking back the weight of the world. He returned to King Eurystheus, golden apples in hand, proving that even the most impossible tasks could be accomplished with a little teamwork and a lot of cleverness. Chapter 12. Capturing Cerberus, the final labor. After years of toil, of facing down monsters and overcoming impossible odds, Hercules stood on the precipice of freedom. But standing between him and his well-deserved rest was the most terrifying challenge yet, capturing Cerberus, the three-headed hound of Hades. This wasn't just any guard dog. This was a beast from the underworld, all teeth, claws, and a bark that could wake the dead. Cerberus guarded the gates of Hades, ensuring that no souls escaped the underworld and that no living soul dared to enter. Hercules, armed with his trusty club and clad in the impenetrable skin of the Nemean Lion, descended into the underworld, a realm shrouded in darkness and despair. He navigated the river Styx, the wailing of tormented souls echoing around him, his resolve unwavering. He found Cerberus at the gates of Hades, its three heads snarling, its eyes burning with an infernal fire. Hercules, drawing on the strength of 1,000 battles, charged into the fray. He battled the beast, its claws tearing at his armor, its teeth bared in a silent snarl. But Hercules, drawing on the strength he'd gained through his trials, refused to yield. He grappled with Cerberus, his grip like iron, his spirit unbroken. Finally, he subdued the beast, not with violence but with sheer willpower, forcing the hound to submit to his will. He dragged the whimpering beast back to the land of the living, a testament to his indomitable spirit. From slaying monstrous beasts to outsmarting gods, Hercules redefined what it meant to be a hero. He taught us that true strength lies not just in muscle but in heart, in will, in using your brain as much as your brawn. He showed us that even when facing impossible odds, we can overcome any challenge if we dig deep, embrace the grind, and never, ever give up. So, the next time you're facing your own personal Hydra, remember Hercules. Remember his courage, his determination, his ability to find a way, no matter what. And hey, if you enjoyed this epic tale, hit that like button, subscribe for more legendary stories, and let me know in the comments what other myths you'd like to see me tackle. Udo Diri, stay well.